Hello once again, all my comic collecting friends out there in YouTube land. Comic Hoarder 410 here to bring you part 11 of my comic book keys, variants, and such. And before I get started, just once again, want to wish everyone and their families a safe, happy holiday season. It can be a great, happy time, but don't get too stressed out. Some people can get stressed out, and it can be a stressful time. So I hope everyone's having a good holiday and everyone's doing well. It's crazy real quick. It's December 22nd here, and today it was in the mid 60s here in Baltimore. I was in shorts and a t-shirt today, and it got so warm. It was 77 degrees in my apartment. I had to turn on the air conditioning. Freaking crazy. But yes. Happy holidays, and let's get started. Here's a couple books I would have shown earlier had I found them earlier. And this is a pretty nice copy, actually. It's got a small fox here. Couple minor problems on the spine, but this is All-Star Comics number 58, and it's the first appearance of Power Girl. This is the comics adaptation of Walt Disney's The Black Hole, an awesome sci-fi picture from the late 70s, and I think a highly underrated one. I really liked this one as a kid. And this is issue number 1 of, it says part 1 of the movie. This is issue number 1 by Whitman. And issue number 2, they do the photo covers from the movie with Anthony Perkins. And this is the conclusion of the movie, which is weird because it actually went 4 issues. So this is part 2, issue 2, and it's the conclusion of the movie. And then I have number 3. And this is, as you can see, it's called Beyond the Black Hole. It says, what shocking discoveries await the crew on the other side of the abyss, where laws of nature do not apply. And I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen the movie, but it's pretty cool idea, I guess, that, you know, because they never did a sequel. But they did an issue 4. I do not have it. Issue 4 was a very low print run, and you could only get it in the Whitman multi-pack, so my understanding is it's pretty rare, and I haven't found it yet, so on the lookout for that one. This book is not worth too much at all, but when it first came out, this is Final Crisis number 6, and this is cover B, I believe, the Batman cover, by J.G. Jones, and there's a lot of hype around this issue because this is the issue that Batman gets hit by Darkseid's Omega beams, and everybody didn't know if he was dead or what, but it displaced him through time and started the Return of Bruce Wayne story. So it was very hot for a minute, though. This is Firestorm number 1 from his first series. It's an Al Milgrom cover, very, very sharp copy of this. And I became a fan of Firestorm as a kid when they added him into the Superpowers cartoon along with Cyborg. It was basically, you know, the newer version of the Super Friends cartoon in the early 80s. And I got into Firestorm as a kid as a result of that. So here's issue number 2, also Al Milgrom cover. Got a little bit of rubbing and chipping on the bottom corner, but other than that, very sharp. And it's got a Superman cameo. And Firestorm issue 3, Killer Frost. Those are all pretty high grade. This is volume 2, The Fury of Firestorm, number 1. Awesome cover by Pat Broderick and Dick Giordano. Great stuff. Staple of my childhood. This came out, 2010, and this is DC's first wave, and it's a story that takes place, you know, in Batman's first year or so of crime fighting, and it's Brian Azzarello and Rags Morales with awesome covers by J.G. Jones, and tells about Batman's team up with Doc Savage and Will Eisner's character, the Spirit. I really like this mini. So, what was it, 6 issues? Good stuff, and I think they did a one-shot afterwards as well. Showed my Aardvark Vanaheim Flaming Carrot number 1 last time, and I should have saved it. Got a little out of order ahead of myself, but most of my books are in order now. Pretty much everything here is, anyways. So, Here's some more Flaming Carrots that I missed. And this is number 26 of the Dark Horse series. And I really like this one because it has crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And also the Mystery Men. Those of you that remember the movie with, Ben Stiller. And this is part 2 of the crossover with the Turtles, Flaming Carrot Comics 27. And I love this cover. And to my knowledge, this is the only time that Mr. Todd McFarlane drew the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, that is an awesome cover of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Flaming Carrot by Todd McFarlane. Awesome stuff. These aren't too valuable. I just like some of these covers, but this is from Geoff Johns' excellent run on The Flash, and this is number 210. It's just an awesome cover by Michael Turner of Flash, Reverse Flash, Grodd, Captain Cold, Weather Wizard, and I can't remember that guy's name. I should know his name. Was it like Whisper? God, I should know it. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Very cool cover. And to me, this was the best part of Geoff Johns' run on Flash, and this is the Rogue War Part 1, issue 220. Classic villain face-off cover here by Howard Porter. That was a great read. One of the things that helped put Geoff Johns on the map, actually. This is a later issue after Geoff Johns was off it. But I really like this cover by Ladron. Awesome use of dark and light. Really dig that cover. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. Composition, the tones, great. He does some great stuff. I like Ladron. This is Flash Rebirth number 1 with a beautiful cover by the great Ethan Van Sciver, and I really, really like his work. He does some beautiful stuff. And this is the 1 in 25 variant to Flash Rebirth number 1, again by Ethan Van Sciver. It's 2 awesome covers there. This is the San Diego Comic Con Grand Cracker Comics exclusive Flash Gordon number 1 cover, limited to 3,000 copies. I can pay like $10 for that at the show, so I can't really argue. Again, not going to say these are keys, but I really, really, really like this miniseries because I'm a big Army of Darkness fan, big horror movie fan, so I love Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And Wildstorm and Dynamite did this 6-issue mini Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. Any fan of any of these three, you will dig this. It's a great read. This is the Freddy Krueger cover to number 1 by J. Scott Campbell. The Jason Voorhees cover to number 1, also by J. Scott Campbell. And the Ash cover with the Necronomicon, also by J. Scott Campbell. Now, these covers I really dig. Starting with number 2, Goon creator Eric Powell did these covers, and I love them. Love that cover with Jason and Ash coming out of Freddy's face there. That's number 2. And here's the black and white variant of that same cover, and you can really see Eric Powell's detail in that. The great ink washes and stuff he uses. He is awesome. Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash number 3, cover also by Eric Powell. And there's the black and white variant. Issue number 4 of Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. Another Powell cover. Don't have the variant to that. Or number 5. And this cover isn't by Powell. Pretty nice cover. I can't tell who did it. His name's so faint down there. But I'll have to look that up. And number 6. Final issue. Very good read. I recommend it. They also did a follow-up. Wildstorm and Dynamite teamed up again. And did Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. The Nightmare Warriors. So these are good reads. I recommend them. Showed this not too long ago. Got this signed at HorrorCon this year. This is my Avatar Friday the 13th #1 Platinum foil variant. And I got it signed by Kane Hodder, who played Jason in some of the movies. Very, very, very nice guy. Avatar's Friday the 13th, Jason vs. Jason X, also signed by Kane Hodder, and an awesome cover by Juan Jose Rip, who I really like, and he did some awesome work on Moon Knight not too long ago, a few years back, and I really liked it, man. Some of the most underrated Moon Knight art, and you know, he doesn't really get his mainstream cred. Again, not too expensive of a book, but Gambit was very hot in the 90s, and this is Gambit #1. And I believe this is either Adam or Andy Kubert. I think that's I want to say that's Andy, but I don't know. I have to look it up. Again, another book that was hot for a minute in the 90s, Generation X #1. And this is when all the holofoil and chromium covers were big, and this is the chromium cover to that. I think that's the only cover they did. Could be wrong. There is an ash can of it, which I have, but again, interest in that book died out quick. But this book was huge when it came out in 1993. And this is the book that put J. Scott Campbell on the map. This is Images, Gen 13, Volume 1, #1. By Jim Lee, Brandon Choi, J. Scott Campbell, and Alex Garner. And in my opinion, J. Scott Campbell's art was at its best when inked by Alex Garner. The art on this series is awesome. Great, great book. And these are all high-grade copies of these. Kept these in good shape. Gen 13, #2. #3. With a cameo of Pitt. Awesome cover there by J. Scott Campbell. #4, beautiful cover by Campbell and Garner. I mean, look at the detail of Garner's inks on Fairchild's back and stuff. Great stuff. Gen 13, #5. And this is Gen 13 Volume 2, #1, and this is the Gen 13 Bunch variant to #1, paying homage to the Brady Bunch. Cool cover. Again, by J. Scott Campbell. This is the normal cover to Gen 13 Volume 2, #1. #2. Gen 13 Volume 2. And #3. Like this cover by J. Scott Campbell. It's almost like a pulpy Indiana Jones type look to that cover. Dig that a lot. When this volume got up to issue 13, they did a bunch of different covers, and this is cover A. And it has Jughead up in the price box for some reason. It's by J. Scott Campbell. This is Gen 13 cover B, and it's a jam cover by J. Scott Campbell and Bone creator Jeff Smith, and there's Bone on the cover with grunge. And cover C by J. Scott Campbell. I believe this is Volume 3, #1. J. Scott Campbell's still on it. And Gen 13 Zine, #1, the mini magazine. So I believe I know I have the first 3 volumes complete. I'm missing some of the variants, but I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, and when they came out, it spawned a bunch of horrible imitators, and I didn't show them, but Eclipse did Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, and that wasn't too bad, but this one was horrible. And it was Geriatric Gangrene Jujitsu Gerbils. Just a terrible attempt at cashing in on the Turtles. And so many of them came out. And here's #2. Not very good. This was very good. As a child, the 80s, I was a big fan of the Ghostbusters movies and this cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters. And this is Now Comics, The Real Ghostbusters #1, with an awesome cover by the legendary Ken Steacy. He's great. Big fan of his work, too. Good series, good cartoon. This is 88 Mile Per Hour Studios Ghostbusters #1 with Steve Kurth on art, who went on to do some Iron Man and other things for Marvel. Ashamed to say, I'm a big fan of the anime, but I do not have the Ghost in the Shell, the first miniseries, but I do have the entire second mini, and this is Ghost in the Shell 2, Man-Machine Interface, #1, by Masamune Shirow. And this is the final issue of Ghost in the Shell 2, #11. Cool ass cover there. Need to get on that first series. This is my copy of Ghost Rider Volume 1, #1. I'm going to give this a very fine, maybe a very fine plus. Very sharp everywhere except for we have a small ding there above the bottom staple. Barely breaks color. And then 2 more small dings up here on the left by Ghost Rider. And 1 small chip in the top. But other than that, very sharp copy. Very happy to have this book. I like Ghost Rider a lot. And, that's a cool book. I do not have his first appearance. I'd like to get that someday, but put it on the list with everything else, right? This is Ghost Rider Volume 1, 81. And this is the final issue. A very sharp copy of an all-black Bob Budiansky classic cover. Love that cover. This is the... When did this start? 1990. They relaunched Ghost Rider. I guess this is Volume 2. And this book was very hot when it first came out. And Daniel Ketch, it introduced Daniel Ketch as the new Ghost Rider. And Javier Saltaires was on the art, and this book was big at the time. Mine has a little bit of rubbing down there in the bottom corner. I read this a good bit, but not too bad other than that. Ghost Rider Volume 2, #5, crossover with the Punisher, and I love this cover. It's by Jim Lee when he was in his prime, and that is a beauty. Love that cover. And part 2 of it, Ghost Rider #6, Mark Teixeira did the cover of Punisher and Ghost Rider. Another masterpiece. Love those books. To me, that crossover was just as important at the time as the Punisher War Journal crossover with Wolverine. I really like those. Issue number 93, they never got to finish the story that was going on in Ghost Rider when they canceled it. And issue number 93 is extremely low print run, and I never got it. But I think almost 20 years later, they finally finished the story with Ghost Rider number 94, and it's just called Finale. So, and they brought back Javier Saltaires and Mark Teixeira to work on it. Very cool. Love to get 93. It's a very hard one to find. From what I understand. Sorry about that. Alright. Don't know the difference here. This is from the Garth Ennis Clayton Crane Ghost Rider mini, which is really good. I highly recommend picking it up to any Ghost Rider fans. It's actually, I sent my buddy Ravage X9 copies of this mini to read, because I think, he's a big Ghost Rider fan. I think he'd like it. But any Preacher fans or Ghost Rider fans, pick up this mini. And this is I don't know the difference, but this is the limited edition variant to #1 of that Ghost Rider series. And this here, it was the more expensive of the two. I don't know if that means anything, but this is the retailer edition variant to the Garth Ennis Clayton Crane Ghost Rider #1. And that is a gorgeous painted cover by Clayton Crane. He's awesome on this series. And there's the regular cover to #1. Again, just a gorgeous painted freaking masterpiece by Clayton Crane. He's something else. I guess this would be volume 3 or 4, maybe. I don't know, but this is Ghost Rider number 1 by Daniel Way, Mark Teixeira, and Javier Solters. They brought them back again. Very cool. It's number 1. And of that same series, issue 12 crossed over with the World War Hulk storyline in Ghost Rider Hulk. Awesome books here. And that's Ghost Rider 13, Part 2 of the World War Hulk crossover. And not looking too good for poor Ghost Rider there. Hulk is a beast, though. And World War Hulk was one of the few Marvel events of the past, you know, how many, whatever, 6, 7 years that I think really lived up to the hype. A lot of them didn't, but that one was good, in my opinion. Here is a 5-issue mini that revisited Danny Ketch's Ghost Rider. And this is Ghost Rider Danny Ketch number 1. And again, they brought Javier back in the book. Really love this cover, and that's why I'm showing this. This is GI Combat number 1 from 2010. They did Weird War Tales and a couple other one-shots. This Haunted Tank cover is by Jeff Darrow, and that is a beauty. Look at that, man. Look at that. Love that freaking cover. And that's why I'm a fan of that gentleman's work. To close things out, this is Antarctic Press's Gigantor number 1 from 2000. And big fan of the Gigantor cartoon from when I was a kid. And this series is by Ben Dunn, who is famous as the creator of Ninja High School. So, big fan of Gigantor. And that'll do it for now. Thank you for checking out part 11 of my books and my keys and my variants and the stuff that I like, and I appreciate it. I always do. Thank you all. Have a great holiday season. Keep it safe. Take care of yourselves and your families, and enjoy yourselves. And enjoy all your comic books.